Okay, the first thing I would do is put on some gloves, mainly to protect myself from these instruments because who knows where they have been. And then I would take my instruments. These are not likely instruments I would use. Well, these are little baby forceps and just some tweezers. So I would take these and I would wash them really, really well because all the cracks and crevices are, a place for germs, blood, stuff to just kind of hang out. So after I was done scrubbing them, I'm not going to do it, but I would scrub them really, really well with soap. Then I would come back and I would put them in this pot, and I would make sure the pot had 2 inches of water, and then I would put my instruments in there. There's no water. And then I would boil them, and also prior to turning it on, I would put some forceps in there, some that were long enough so that the top part stuck out of the pot and then the lower half also got sterilized. So this is not ideal, but that's all I have. So I would put those in there, turn it on, boil it. Once it reached boiling, I would leave it boiling for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes of boiling, then I could come and I would have my sterile field ready. This is not sterile. It's a plastic baggie, but pretend it was where I was going to place my sterile instruments and that it was sterile. Now, since I've sterilized the bottom portion, but not the top, so I can touch the top, not the bottom. So I'm picking this up on the outside, not the inside, so as to not to ruin the sterile field. And then I would pick up the instrument, remember the bottom part is sterile, and place the instrument in the sterile field. And this one's going to be very difficult to pick up with this. But if I had something better than this plastic thing, it would be a lot better. And into the sterile field. I would be careful not to let these sterile instruments touch the outside of the bag, because at that point they would no longer be sterile in addition to my gloves. These are not sterile. So if the instrument touched the outside of the bag or my gloves, it wouldn't be sterile. If it did this time, pretend it didn't. And of course, if this was a regular sterile bag, I could flip it over and close it, but there they are, ready to go.